Good evening. I hope you're all well, and I hope those of you who attended the presidential address this lunchtime enjoyed it just as much as I did. Of course, our thanks go to Professor Geoffrey Marr for that, and for those of you who couldn't make it, I should say that we will be releasing a recorded version somewhere in the coming weeks. You'll recall in my dawn statement yesterday that I said I was speaking to Botanical Gardens in the afternoon yesterday, and I would update you on the outcome of that conversation and keep you updated on where we're at with Lawball. Well, I'm sticking to that promise, and in this statement, I can update you, and I can say, as you've probably seen in the email, this link was attached to, that Lawball has been rescheduled for Friday, the 1st of October. Thank you, as always, of course, to the Botanical Gardens for helping us with this, and their client service has been absolutely exceptional in the face of what is undoubtedly a difficult week for them. So it is, of course, inevitable that some of you sadly will not be able to make this rescheduled date, having bought a ticket for the original date. But I want to say I really did try and think as much as possible about picking a date where as many people as possible could do. Clearly, most of our members, other than those that live in Birmingham, go home for at least some of the time between July and mid-September. So we really had to put it sometime in early autumn, and also wanted to put it on a Friday evening, so those that are perhaps graduating this summer won't be in the city of Birmingham come October have got a chance to maybe get an early evening train back to Birmingham and a better chance of making it, and then perhaps you can spend a weekend with some friends that are still in the city. But regardless of whether you can or can't come, and this is one of the main points from this statement, you do not need to let us know whether you can make it or not. And this is because we are refunding everyone who bought a ticket for the original date of the 24th of June, refunding everyone, and then reselling tickets for the 1st of October. I know that sounds like we're actually giving ourselves more work, but it's actually far easier than having to chase 400 people on whether they can make the rescheduled date, and and then process refunds accordingly. So for those of you who do want to buy tickets to the rescheduled date, I know I have to press a few more buttons than if we could transfer it across automatically, but in doing that for us, you're helping us make sure that we can give everyone a refund, which certainly in this climate I'm sure you recognise is very important. In terms of making sure you can get tickets, I predicted for the original 24th of June date that they wouldn't sell out imminently, and that prediction was correct. I'm going to make the same prediction this time. I have no reason to believe it'd be any different, so I wouldn't fret about that. Having said that, I will speak to the Treasurer to see if there's something we can do where we let those of you who bought tickets for the original date know in advance, and we will look at what we can do in that. One thing worth noting is that because our fantastic upcoming committee will obviously take control of the Holdsworth emails when the handover happens in the next few weeks, future correspondence to ticket holders is likely to be through a dedicated Lawball email account, so do look out for that. Based on a few minor problems last time, we'll also be simplifying the way that tickets are sold. So this time you're going to be asked to select menu choices, input dietary requirements, and indicate table preferences all at the time you buy your ticket, because if you only have to do that once, it makes it easier for you and us. Also, we've realised there was no need to sell separate +1 tickets. +1s will just either be members or non-members, and if you indicate in your seating plan preference that somebody is your +1, we will make sure you are sat next to them. I also said in the statement very early yesterday morning that in the final update I would try and put a time frame on the processing of refunds. I've spoken to Alid, and he expects to have completed the process in the next 1 or at the very latest 2 weeks. So I think giving him a tiny bit of leeway on that, what I'd say is feel free to get in touch if you have not received your refund by Monday, the 5th of July. If something comes up that is likely to cause a delay in that, we will write to you with an updated timescale. So please do look out for further correspondence if you bought for the original, if you bought a ticket for the original date. But just as a final reiteration on the point I made earlier, you do not need to get in contact if you can't make the rescheduled date, unless I suppose you want to shout at me for putting it on a day you can't do, which I'd prefer you didn't, but it's a free country and at least it would show you watched the statement fully. For those of you who can make the rescheduled date, which I hope is many of you, I hope this will lift the mood after what has obviously been a relatively tough couple of days after the announcement on Monday. So have a great summer. Spend lots of money when the final parts of the economy reopen. And let's hope football comes home, unless, of course, you're from one of our competing European countries in this tournament, in which case I very much hope you can run us up. Thank you for watching, and the very best of luck for results in July as well. Take care and keep smiling.